Mm. Now, watch you Terrain Reed. So we gotta do each one, teach one, and hit that like button and get some more. What did I miss? Put up in here. So we got the topic for some of the newer brothers and sisters. Lord of all worlds, from highest to lowest. And how to be the Lord of all worlds, from highest to lowest. See, a lot of these things you hear are just a phrase. You know what I'm saying? Each one, teach one. Positive elevation always corrects errors. You know, some of them are simple, but some of them you really got to pay attention to know what it is that they're talking about. 793rd. You know, you really got to pay attention in order to understand it. You know, you take it for granted and you get into what we used to call lip professing instead of manifesting. See, at one time, that was the way we used to speak. You know, like say if I asked you today's mathematics, you know, or I asked you today's degree in 1 and 14, right? Then after you coded it, then I say manifest. And now when it was time, that's when it was time to bring your understanding. And see those that can bring no understanding, it's called the lip professors. How many of these, you know, we not anti-white or pro-black? You know, that's something. You know, do you really understand it? You know, a lot of these, you know, phrases, you know, buzzwords. You know, sometimes we say passwords. People use them without knowing what they mean. All on the business. I figured I see all of the business today coming in late. Well, it's late on the East Coast. But what's the key thing you got to know to be the Lord of all worlds? Like I said, this is for the newer people. Kareem, Joseph. You know, we've been looking for you, Joseph. We've been looking for you for about 2 weeks, man. Everybody saying, where's Joseph, man? Where you been at, man? Joseph got caught up in Twilight Zone or something. The word strength. And we haven't seen Joe Thornton. Joseph, man. Yeah, the babies will keep you knocked out. Most definitely. Especially right now because you gotta be the whole entertainment. It ain't a whole bunch of other stuff that's open right now. At least out here, you know, pretty much the only thing you could do is go shopping. But that's positive though. But yeah, we was just dealing with the topic right here for the newer brothers. Lord of all worlds from highest to lowest, you know, and how to be the Lord of all worlds from highest to lowest, and what's the key thing you got to know in order to be the Lord of all worlds. All in the business of your ability, you got to know the truth. Yeah, 4-year-olds, they like to run. They can have fun just running. They don't even have to have a place they run into. Yep, the 2-year-olds in the reading. You know the thing about 2-year-olds, you know, they memorize the book. If you ever try to one day, right? Turn a page and read something that don't go with that picture. The baby will say, no, that's not what it say. Yeah, that should always bug me out about kids, man. They memorize the book. So sometimes you could ask them to read it to you, they'll tell you what it say. Called Christopher Cox, coming over from Facebook. Universal truth said you must know yourself to be Lord of all worlds. Ah man, Jeff 7. Yeah, 2-year-olds, they'll let you know. They'll let you know when playtime's over. You don't let them know. They'll call you. Got Jam in the house. Anyone else? What's the key thing you got to know in order to be the Lord of all worlds, from highest to lowest? Like Justice, Chicago. Joseph said doing the knowledge to the potential outcome or how your potential energy will be made kinetic. All in the business. So also you have to know how to deal with equality. The man who is unfair and unequal will lose his power. Yeah, Joseph, I gotta come with the I was just thinking, but I gotta it's time to come with the fall line. So I'm about to come out with some new hoodies and long sleeve tees uh in the next couple of days. In the next couple of days, I'm gonna be hitting it. I got some couple new designs I've been working on, and I got some slogans and stuff. Live phrase from the Providence Plantations. Black and gold jump off, right? Yeah, want Carl Christopher Cox said he listens every once in a while. We from Carl Christopher Cox? Everybody do it, each one teach one. Hit the like button for me so we can get some more of the What Did I Miss crew in here. Carl Christopher Cox is from Central New York. That's New York State for the people. That's the people, because we got people actually all over the world. We got people in Poland that watch the channel. So for the people that's outside New York, uh, for the side of New York, that means Central New York State. The Fame Labs has. I think I got some Fame Labs has, but they're on the Bandcamp site. So stuff like today's degree in the 1 and 14, we not all different. And knowing that allows us to treat others as we treat self. What I want for myself is what I want for my brothers. See, all these things that y'all said is y'all on the right path. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you got to know self, because what I'm getting ready to say is you know, each person has to have that degree of knowledge of themselves, right? But see, the key thing you got to know to be the Lord of all worlds from highest to lowest is which worlds to travel to and which worlds to stay away from. You understand what I'm saying? And how you gonna, you know, uh, react to the phenomenon on that world, right? It's going to determine whether you should travel to it or stay away from it. See me, I'm God over smoking crack because I never smoked it. See, that's what it means when it says the way to master some things is to leave it alone. And that's what the way you apply it when called I mean yeah, we relax here called kindness. That's how we do. Kareem said knowing the reality of who and what God is, also being able to master love hella right. Yeah, that's you know, uh part of what I'm saying too. You understand what I'm saying? Knowing that, you know, there is no mystery God, and there are no mysterious powers. You know what I'm saying? Everything is real when you go into that world. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, when you go into that world, knowing the reality of the rewards and the penalties of that world. You understand what I'm saying? And like you said, can you really survive that hell? Can you survive the hells of that world? Because no matter what you do, you understand what I'm saying? There's going to be some hells in that world. You know, if you go to school, you got to study, certain things you got to sacrifice in order to be the master of that world. You know what I'm saying? If you come into this knowledge, you can't spend all your time just droned out on a TV, you know what I'm saying, and expect to, you know what I'm saying, you can't expect, you know, to get to that level where, people really say, yo, this brother's a teacher, you know, just saying, you the original man or whatever, but I'm saying, to actually have people be able to see that because of your teaching. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to get there, without, uh, you know, sacrificing some time, where other people, they be out, looking for love, peace, and happiness, in something outside of self, recreation. You got to be spending that time dealing with self, saving yourself, with the knowledge that you obtain. And then you would be able to save others, and then people would be able to say, oh yeah, that's the guy right there. So that's when you find you start having a different type of 10%. See, in some worlds you go in, you have a different type of 10%. Type of person who, you ever had somebody that whenever you see them, be like, yo, peace, God, yo, God, what's the signs? And then they start telling you all their problems. And it's like they tell you the problems, and it's like, yo, God, what should I do, God? Most of the time, you just tell them, you see, that person is a 10%. Because you can get the knowledge and see for yourself. What you need to keep asking me for my jewels for. The best part that I drew up from dealing with the same reality you dealing with. Except, like I said, I've sacrificed the time to deal with self while you out there recreating, right? Do you want to come and get all the answers from me and make yourself rich from my labor? Nah, man. Take this here and study that. I deal with them, but it comes a time when you got to cut those kind of people off. I'm not a preacher. See, that's the difference. The preacher, he needs you to come back and come back and come back, right? In order to support the church, in order to support him. See, the teacher, it's new babies being born every minute. I need you to learn what you got to learn and get up out of here so I can teach the next batch. So, I want not necessarily be where, like this person is not, necessarily malicious, but be aware of that type of blood cell. Who never wants to learn how to fish. See, you recognize this person, physically, in the physical realm, somebody who just keep asking you for money, who's perfectly, you're not disabled. But mentally, that happens too. All in the business said, right? Some worlds have no reward. Yeah. Some rewards is just an illusion. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's from, really in America, you know what I'm saying? But, in particularly the neighborhoods that a lot of us come from, we seen people get engaged with worlds, right? That for a little while, it looked like they hit the promised land. But then all those same rewards turn into penalties. You understand what I'm saying? And, they may end up losing their freedom. They may end up losing their life. You understand what I'm saying? The material gains. Because see, when we say, Mecca is the best part, Mecca is what you make it, heaven for each person is unique to each person. And they ideas and they standards. You understand what I mean? You know, each person may have their own favorite ice cream. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you give me your favorite ice cream, I might don't like that. That might be a penalty for me. Might be like, man, some of the ice cream they had over there. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas for you, you'd be like, oh man, it was an unlimited supply of that ice cream over there. You understand what I'm saying? See, just like you know, I don't know. You know, he Kareem. I'm glad he Kareem is here because he can straighten me out on this. Uh, you know, I don't know what's the actual description in the Quran, right, of heaven. You know, but you know, it would appear to me that saying that it's these 99 virgins in heaven, right, that you get to deal with. You know, this is something that would appeal to the demographic over there that you want to get involved with, you know, a life or death kind of mission. You know, if you want to send somebody on a mission where, look, you might die, but look, when you die, it's going to be 99 virgins. I mean, that might not appeal so much to like, you know, 14-year-old girls or something. So just saying that, you know, for each, you know, for some people, you know, heaven is about, you know, they're gonna get to wherever the place is, and they're gonna be there with their whole family because that's their ideals. You know what I'm saying? Different people that describe heaven, right? They describe it, you know, based on their values. But hold on, let me catch up here. People was answering, but I was. Uh, Mr. Green one came in. Kareem said, I sound like I'm speaking on my recent experiences with someone. um, a lot of these come from my recent experiences. Um, I mean, kind of going to and fro today. So, right on the business said Richard crack in the 80s, family on drug fiends in jail and dead, innocent people losing their life all for them, you know, speaking on that it may appear that somebody is being rewarded, you know what I'm saying, for the behavior, you know, or a person is getting rewards, certain things. You understand what I'm saying? See, just like we said, man, what would T.I. be without me? You understand what I'm saying? The original man has always been here, and therefore we existed before time. Because time is just a calculation. See? So time ends up being the revealer of illusions. See? And something appears right now, right? But then all you can tell me is it used to be there. See, time is the revealer of that illusion. See, who's the 5%? Time will be the revealer of the illusion that some people is 5%. I seen it happen. So all of the business say gardens in which rivers flow within is the Quran description. Hmm. See, now, I don't know if y'all could read this kind of language. To see what that's saying is when you have understanding. So when you know how to read this stuff. That's what that's saying right there when you have understanding. I don't know how many of y'all seen that. Asiatic mathematics said Quran heaven is about eating grapes in a mansion. The virgin thing comes from hadiths. Yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. That's the type of thing that's how it strikes me. That this is something that, when we go into war, so, is this hadith from, the conquest days? Because that seems like something that would come about at that time. You know what I mean? Because you want a population of, young men to go out there and maybe lose their life. So, you give them a vision of what they might look at as heaven. You know what I'm saying? So self said heaven is peace and peace is the absence of chaos. I don't know if you can, I don't know if you get that when you die, but do we really care? The Lord can't die. All the business says dates and olives and palms for shade. To me, it's just describing a healthy, loving, happy, peaceful home and household. Reveal. See reveal in a minute. You know, the brothers was up there the other day, reveal Mahadi, P Almighty, Celine, uh, the brothers that used to be in the class with you. And Sun God, he come all the time. Joe Self said, I get heaven when I see my babies laugh or look at me with such love in their eyes. I get hell when I allow chaos to blind me. Kareem said the Quranic version of the Akira or afterlife is better than this life. The dunya, it doesn't even compare basically this. Why you have dummies taking this literally and strapping bombs to themselves, they can care less about this life. Well, I'm saying I think the 99 versions might have something to do with it too. You see the gardens and the rivers. See the gardens, right? That's where the fruit grow. Gardens is where you get the fruit. You see what I'm saying? And the rivers that flow within, that's the wisdom. See, so a person who has understanding, that's the heavens above. Gotta know how to read these books. Universal Truth said you gotta think of your own rewards for your work and earn them yourself. Propose a heaven based on what you want, not a paradise described by another person or book. Exactly. But each, even when you look at that, right? When you look at the biblical times, you know, uh, death was very, in the Christian world, death was very prevalent. You know what I'm saying? Like most children, most people didn't survive until adulthood in in Europe, where Christianity. Uh, I know what they say in terms of it, having its origins, the origins of the thoughts, and it being amongst the original man. But I'm talking about Christianity. You know, the Roman Empire, Constantine, these individuals. You know, a lot of people didn't live, to be that old. You got plagues and all of this stuff. So, death, describing heaven, as, this person is living on forever in this, paradise situation. That's the way it became described to them. See, I told y'all it was. I remember telling the story before about this documentary I saw about a Christian priest. He was a Catholic priest. He was a missionary, and they sent him to. He went to teach Christianity to. Uh, uh, it was like a Native American tribe. I think it was in South America or Central America, and they had just recently had contact with the Western world. They was one of those tribes that was living somewhere where they hadn't had any contact with the colored man yet. And the Catholic priest, he couldn't get them to understand the concept of heaven, because when he described it to them, it sounded like where they lived at right now. Because they lived in a place, like for instance, when they described the Garden of Eden to these people, they was like, yeah, that sounds like right here. Because these people, where they lived at, food was so plentiful that they never farmed, they didn't work, they didn't have no type of food storage or anything, like whatever it was that they, like if they wanted to eat fish, they just went down to the river and caught some fish. Whatever food. Basically, all they did was ate and rested. They didn't, they didn't have any type of labor or hardships and none of that. And so the Christian priest, he went out there to convert them into Christianity. But when he saw that, these people, and they didn't have no conflict, you know what I'm saying? So when the Christian priest saw that, these people could basically, they could live righteously, you know what I'm saying? And just be in this situation without ever having heard, of their Lord and Savior, that, he saw that, Christianity wasn't the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So he ended up leaving Christianity instead of converting them. Yeah, all right. Carlos Clark came over to YouTube now. The wordsmith said, if you read the Malvi Muhammad, who's Malvi Muhammad? But if you read the Malvi Muhammad version of the Quran, chapter 18, entitled The Cave, it talks about the devil living in the caves after becoming savage. Um, and what is that whole what is that whole surah about? Or, Universal Truth said there's a story about a businessman who tries to convince a fisherman to go into business. When the businessman explains the rewards, the end result is the life the fisherman already has. All right, yeah, Mulana Muhammad. Yeah, I mean, basically, uh, you know, that's the businessman, in this story right here, the businessman is a strange kind of character, you know. Um, that's kind of how I see uh that's kind of how I see the government. You know what I mean? Like I'm a fisherman, right? You know, and I'm doing my thing. You know, I got fish. If I need something else, I can trade my fish for it. I'm doing my thing. And then we got, in this story right here, the businessman who comes along and you ain't got nothing to offer. What you got? You just got an idea on how you could get a cut of what I'm doing. What you got? See, the government, they got guns. So they come into each transaction, right, between individuals and say, look, I need to get a cut of that, you know, in the form of taxes. That's what they call it, the VIG. Like that, you know, um, I know Black Dot. I don't know if he ever says it on his channel, but Black Dot was 5%. That's what I know. Kareem said a lot of original people know the negative effects of their community and changes that took place once the colored man was allowed to come through. You know, too many of them either don't know, like I said in that movie, too many in that movie either don't know, don't show, or don't care. And Joe Self said, he said he grew up 5%. He says it all the time. Yeah. Name was born. But yeah, I know Black guy. You know, that's something he could remind, I I don't understand. I've been you know, it's been a little bit too much violence between us, like in the second half. That's what it seems like. You know, you got the first half of the year, where, I was saying that, uh, I was proud of the different cities, you know what I'm saying, and the way they rebelled against, the oppression of the system, you know what I'm saying? Um, and to the point now where, uh, I'm disappointed in, how much violence broke out, between us, you know what I'm saying? One would think that, individuals would, at least give it a little moratorium or something. Joseph said, I like the father and son thing they got going on at Urban X Black Dot. I haven't seen it. I seen a couple of his, I seen him speaking a couple of different times. And, like I said, I recognize him because I know him. But now I'm not aware of the Urban X Black Dot thing. Joseph said politics is not the way. Do we agree on that? I mean, if we go by the presidential election this year, then yeah, it's not the way. You know what I'm saying? Uh, clearly, in this, cycle right here, especially, in my opinion, with the selection of Harris, I don't know if there's ever been a time, you know, in my lifetime. Um, nah, maybe this, but this is up there in terms of, have we ever had two greater evils to try to choose which one is the lesser from? Like, both, how you say you jump from the pot into the frying pan? Both, choices is the pot. See, we didn't know it yet at the time, but, the first Bush in Bill Clinton. That was a pretty rough selection right there too. You know what I'm saying? This time we know. So I guess we learned a lesson there. You know, about I guess not to say ultimately what can and can't happen. You know what I mean? But just to say, at least one lesson that could be learned, is how things can kind of be when you're dealing with the like in the primaries, right? For instance, you had like when's the last time we heard about the ADOS movement? You know what I'm saying, on a national plane. You know what I'm saying? How much are they talking about the reparations and things of that nature now? You know what I'm saying? Like this was a front and center issue during the time they was having the debates. You understand what I'm saying? It was like they catered to many different special interests. But then it came down to just establishment picks. Somebody who's been around for, 50, 60 years, and the police. So, if anybody is looking for the way out through politics, this is not, the presidential election this year is not looking, it's not looking good. Something happened to the YouTube. They get kicked off the YouTube again. I was having problems with that. Yeah, it looks like I'm on. Yeah, it looks like I'm on. Yeah, you probably gotta click refresh. But who said 72? Asiatic say yes, an interesting show that Black Dot has. They make good news. They make for good news reporters. He claims that the old wise men always know and knew better, but their sons are greedy and either didn't really know how to be kings or chiefs. Hmm. Uh, yeah, but the uh, the price that's being paid by the community, you know, from the chaos that's being brought on by the sons is it's at a level that's not sustainable. So self-centered, check out Black Guy Show. If anything, it's wholesome entertainment with a great splash of color. So self-centered, I haven't thought politics would work since '08. I still feel swindled from Obama. I got fooled, but that won't happen again. Full steam ahead to economics. I mean, you know, I saw it then. My point is, look, the president is the president. He's president covered. He's president covered. Don't. I go with it was one of the dudes from Dead Prez. I'm not sure which one, but when Obama got elected, I think he posted on something. I don't know where it was, but he posted on something, an African proverb, and I think that proverb probably sums up the best, how I saw Obama from the beginning, and what he showed and proved. Uh, and the proverb was when the lumberjack walked into the forest with an axe, right? Or when the axe came into the forest, the trees looked at the handle and said, "Look, it's one of us." But yeah, I saw it from the jump. You know, uh, it was actually quite controversial. It had got to the point where I just stopped speaking on it. Keith Kareem said he hasn't heard much about Harris or what she's talking about or her premise. I just know she comes from an educated background. She police. Universal truth said politics doesn't give choices, it gives problems. You know, uh, Universal truth said the original people don't need politics to come together. We only need equality to exchange ideas and purpose to make it reality. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what politics is. You understand what I'm saying? You know, uh, we just within political systems. Politics is, about how people relate to each other in, larger groups. You understand what I'm saying? You know, uh, within the family, you got politics. You may not look at it like that. You know, but just like you look at every household, and you like, all right, yeah, she's wearing the pants over there. That's because the family politics. You know what I'm saying? You know, uh, when y'all making a system right in order to deal with, okay, when we get up in the morning, everybody getting to take a shower and getting to where they got to be on time. When you're devising that system, that's politics. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, to me, it's about the levels at which you're dealing with politics. Like you got to look at the people who's wielding a certain amount of power. You know what I'm saying? The block voters, you know what I'm saying? The unions, things of that nature, the evangelicals, block voters on that level, they got power. You know what I'm saying? You know, the the donors, you know what I'm saying? The people that uh, actually pay for these campaigns, the people that uh, put up the money so that you can have the boots on the ground to be registering voters and taking signatures and everything so you can get on the ballots. The people who pay for that, we got to get into that level of it. See, we just at the very end. See, all of those levels is what decides was the choices for the people that's at the end. The people that just go in and pull the handle. You know what I mean? But everything else, you setting up home. Waiting for the mystery guide, right there said food, clothing, and home. But to bring you any kind of relief, to be your savior in any kind of way, you're setting up home. You understand what I'm saying? You got to get in, if we're going to be successful at it, I'm saying, we got to get in at a deeper level. The same thing with the economics. We can't just be the end user. We can't just be the person who goes in the store and spends money. That's a part of economics, but you at the end, you got to be up here. You got to be in the part where the money is being made. Understanding how the money is being made. Whether you producing the resource, you know what I'm saying? Whether you, transporting the resource, whether you refining the resource, whether you manufacturing something out of that resource that's been refined. You see, if all you do is come in and purchase what's been manufactured, then you have to retail in of that whole pipeline. You see what I mean? And it's the same thing with politics. You're not, even with the education system, with education, the way you educating people. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning like, look, we have, Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, you know what I'm saying? Different people, they had a political impact. They wasn't necessarily politicians, but they had a political impact. You understand what I'm saying? That's from them having a certain education of, from being in a segregated society. You know what I'm saying? From being in a racist society, that informed their value system. So the things that they was interested in speaking on, the things that they was interested in improving, you understand what I'm saying, was based on that education that they got in their community. You understand what I'm saying? So see, like here in New York, right? In other places, it might be more homogenous. But in New York, you got different neighborhoods, right? They got different majority and minority populations. So you got some neighborhoods that they got a lot of Asian people. and you will see that they representatives in the city council, or maybe even in Albany in the state, is from that ethnic majority in that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Same in the black neighborhood, same in the Italian neighborhood, same in the Jewish neighborhood. You understand what I'm saying? And each of those people, they in the city council, right? Who they are and the people in their community, you understand what I mean? Like if there's an issue that affects, Italian people, you're going to see those representatives saying something about that. You see what I'm saying? The problem is we picking people who have the interests of some other people, who they've been educated by, what they've been educated in, the people who gave them the money, the people who backed them, the people who introduced them to all the connects that they use to get where they at right now. It's some other people, and that's where their loyalty lies when it's time to vote on these issues. You understand what I'm saying? And what we are voting for is just a kind of marketing. These people, that's what, when you got all this money involved, you got TV commercials, makeups and stylists and all of this stuff, you're being marketed to. Just accept that. And Obama was marketed as a certain type of person. Sometimes we see through the marketing. Like when, Kamala Harris was first running, she tried to market herself, you understand what I mean, as a black woman. It came out that her mother was in it. But when you make your announcement on Martin Luther King's birthday, right? What's going on? I keep noticing I'm freezing. But when you make your announcement on Martin Luther King's birthday, right, at Howard University, right, most people they're gonna, kind of make that assumption. Now you coming in with this, kind of motherly vibe and everything, and you're about the people who struggle. But then when we look at your actual record, right, as district attorney in San Francisco and as attorney general, right, in the state of California. And then when we even look at some of the initiatives that you've backed since you've been a senator, right? When we look at how you go with the party line, then we know what your interest is. We know who's the real people that you're about. You know what I'm saying? So, with both things, with politics and economics, that's what I think is the issue, because one can't really thrive without the other. You know what I'm saying? One can't really thrive without the other. That's just the way, in America, or say just with this, in America, the system that we got, right? Capitalism and democracy seems like two separate things, as opposed to socialism, where the government and the economics is clearly more related. You know what I'm saying? But see, even when you deal with Black Wall Street, they was able to do that because they control the politics. They control how people related to each other, right? On a large scale, they controlled it in a community. You understand what I'm saying? In the situation that happened with it being destroyed, right? That was a situation with foreign relations. See, they had a good way of how to deal with each other within their own environment, right? right, within that environment, but they didn't have no, Department of Defense. Not knocking them for it. I'm saying what I can learn. What I can learn, because you don't want to say, oh well, because what happened to Black Wall Street, that, oh well, that's not going to work. See, that's the idea of the people who lean more towards politics as a decision. I mean, lean more towards politics as a solution. Is that if you don't have, the political, kind of structure in place to protect that wealth, right? Then it'll just be lost anyway. But just gotta figure out that on both levels, you gotta get into the pipeline on the other side. You know what I mean? And not just be the person that, swipes the card and the person that pulls the lever. That's what makes you the last person. You understand what I'm saying? If all you do is swipe the card, right? You just put your money on the counter, then you don't really have a say so about what's in the store. People pick what they want to pick, design and make what they want to design, and then you just buy it. So it's the same thing with politics. If you're not in at none of the other levels before you get to here, then you don't really have no say so in who's the people that you're picking from. Domino Castro. It's been a minute. Mr. Green once said, politics never look good, and all the history of politics never give much relief, if any at all. Yeah, because you know, it's 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 an easier road. You know, like even in the time, uh, I've seen politicians, like New York politicians, that you know, uh, uh, they New York City politicians. You know what I'm saying? They might not be well known outside of New York City, but I've seen people, from when they first came into politics, first got uh, elected to the city council and everything. You know what I'm saying? And you know the type of issues that they always wanted to deal with. You know, and then I see them now, and it's like, yeah, the corporations, they got to you, like whoever those interests are, they got to you. Like I can see your whole, you went from a kind of natural look, now you all made up, you know, the type of issues that you think is important. You know what I'm saying? Your votes on certain issues, I can see is in a different direction. Like the value system that you supporting in there is not the same one. All right, let me catch up with y'all. Oh, I agree. So we fighting to be accepted in hostile territory. I think Elijah had it right. We need our own space. Joseph said, I knew he wasn't one of us, but I thought that he would do something for black folks, something he gave our phones. I mean, um, there's two ways to look at that. That's what he did. Uh, and I guess that's what you saying too, Joseph. You know what I mean? I guess I'm just saying it on a wider scale, but that there's some people that's happy with that. That we fell for the same okie doke promises. See, that's the thing. See, like we can look at it from the outside, right, and see, like for instance, right, almost everybody, that you run into in America, when they hear that, China is in Africa right now making deals, and buying stuff up. We looking at the Africans like, yo, how many times do y'all have to get duped by outsiders before y'all see that all these deals are dirty? And this is starting to happen where, there's a thing right now where, because you got a lot of brothers and sisters, right, that is kind of fed up with the service that we've been getting from the Democratic Party. A lot of them now is seen as Trump supporters. It's not that they Trump supporters. It's just that they've seen that there's a albatross that's been around their neck for 60 years. And because Trump is fighting that same albatross, if you at a distance, it looks like they working together. It looks like the, black people that's trying to get, other black people to see that, look, it's this Democratic Party is kind of duping us here. Not kind of, it's been long enough. It's time to get off the pot. This isn't producing, this isn't producing any kind of benefit for us. We're going backwards under this, coalition in the Democratic Party. All of the business that Harris is a brown germ, they got separated. Hey, man. Fly phrase from the Providence plantations said, I never subscribed to politics myself. My grandfather used to say, discussing religion politics can ruin friendships if you ain't both on the same side or practice the same religion. Were you from a place called the Providence Plantations? So I could tell there's not very many brothers and sisters in the politics up there. I don't know how y'all do it. I had to be out there when the first thing smoking. Kareem said the dollar is not being recycled in our communities. Now, that's partially a political. That's partially a political. That's partially caused by politics. It's economics, but it's very much partially caused by politics. You understand what I'm saying? For instance, see, redlining means that, the type of wealth and businesses, right, that grow up in a community, right, that allows a person to stay in that community and shop. You understand what I'm saying? But redlining, you know, that means that there's an empty lot there instead of a supermarket or, a clothing store or whatever it might be. You understand what I'm saying? So that money could circulate here. You understand what I'm saying? That's partially politics. You know what I'm saying? The Black Wall Streets of America. All of the different communities that had a parallel Black economy to whatever was the white economy, right? A lot of that got destroyed because of integration, which was a political thing. You understand what I'm saying? So these two sides is something that I noticed, for myself. These two sides often become antagonistic to one another. You know what I'm saying? The people who look at politics as more a solution, and the people who look at economics as more of a solution. But in fact, they got to go hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Because those economics, right, have to be used to increase the political power. You know what I'm saying? And the political power is used to increase the economic power. You know what I'm saying? Fred says his homie from high school was mad cool, but now he's into politics heavy, and he's always bigging up Trump and talking about the left wing and right wing. I never knew how he felt back in high school till Trump got elected, and now I look at him a little different. He's still my man, still. I mean, see now, well, you know, uh, politics is becoming more and more important. Like it was a time when, people you might say that, in terms of the president, whatever the president really decided is not affecting me, directly like that. You know what I'm saying? There was an idea before that, you got to deal mostly with local politics. But see now, it's at a level where look, the president signs a bill, you get an extra $600. Directly. Within a couple of weeks, you get the unemployment with the extra 600. You know what I'm saying? Or you get, the president signs a bill, now you get the stimulus. The president signs a bill, and you can't fly to this country or that country. There's things that is coming into direct everyday life. And so people is becoming more and more, hyped about it. You know what I'm saying? It's the winners and losers are very clear. You know what I'm saying? So people ready to pick sides. And these people is all around us. God, our beast, that if you're not involved in politics in your community, then someone else is. Nah, Joseph, her mother is Indian. Her mother is Indian as in South Asian. And that's who she grew up with. See, that's the thing that's always key to me. And that was key to me with Obama. Is that, he grew up with his white family. He really started, he came to Chicago and married Michelle and all that. That was later in life. He grew up in, partially in Hawaii, partially in, Asia. It's not the same. He didn't backflip on the mattresses with us. I seen that from the jump. Universal Truth said, I see what you're saying about family politics. I'm saying political leaders are not the answer to our success. You're right about consumer habits, boycotting stores doesn't hit as hard as selling brand stocks. I mean, I agree with you in terms of the current political leaders. But I'm saying we have to produce our own political leaders. See, that's the thing. We're dealing with we're dealing with a leadership that's picked by the other side. You understand what I'm saying? Even how our leaders are portrayed. Even if we look at the past, you know what I'm saying? Different leaders, how they portray us. What like we spoke on here before about how with Martin Luther King, right? When we looking in the mainstream media for representations about Martin Luther King, we mostly, in the mainstream, they mostly want to deal with the early part of Martin Luther King. They're going to tell you about, mostly everything up to the March on Washington. But they're not going to tell you, part when now he catches it after that. To the point where, even myself, growing, I always looked at him as, who went and asked for freedom, justice, and equality. I didn't realize how much he fought for freedom, justice, and equality. See, that's an image that they give you on purpose. You understand what I mean? That's the way they choose to control the leadership in that way. Then you got other leaders like Marcus Garvey, right? That they choose to, they use obscurity. They use, they don't talk about him. He's not chosen. You understand what I'm saying? Now Malcolm X, they like to talk, they'll talk about his story of redemption. They'll use the redemption part. But the Malcolm X they like to present in the mainstream media, right, is the late Malcolm X, after he's, saying stuff like, there's no racism or colorism in Mecca. You understand what I mean? Because that's the image of him that they choose to allow us to have as a leader. And so, as long as, our leaders got to go to the establishment uh, in order to become a leader. See, like I was just saying, we have politicians that they start out and, they dealing with their own ideals, with their own values and everything, and they supported by the community. You know what I'm saying? But then if they want to get to a higher position, right, in the political structure, they end up having to go through the establishment. And then they got to deal inequality with the establishment. And a lot of times that will be in conflict, with dealing with inequality with the people. And then you will see what decisions they make. Joe Self said, I think what happened to Black Wall Street won't happen again, not in this day and time. Um, uh, I mean, it may not happen in the same way. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, guys just coming in shooting. That might be less likely. You know, um, you know, uh, where you just have a whole town, come in and they shoot up, all these people. But what about this though, Joseph? You know, that's a situation where you got multiple shooters. But what about one crazed shooter? What about one crazed shooter? See, because just like you said, in this day and time, that won't happen. But look at the impact that just one, Dylan Roof kind of person. Look at the type of damage that's still going to cause. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, the attack would come from a different direction. The person who makes the attack, they'll be wearing a different color. But it could come in any form. The water in Flint, Michigan. But they continue daily. And in order to continue daily, you got to keep coming up with new stuff. And Nola music and films. Yeah, but, so Nola music and films, so they just told me about this today. People from Georgia, y'all quarantined when you come from Georgia, you gotta wait to 14 days before you come to school. They just told me that today. Who knows? Fame Labs. Yeah, Fame Labs. Are you talking about right here on the Cash App? Yeah, I'm Fame Labs. So I don't understand how an original person in the USA can vouch for either party. I mean, that's what school is for. You know what I'm saying? That's what school is for. You know, that's what teachers do. Uh, you know, the news, you know, in the same way that, once upon a time we celebrated, I celebrated Thanksgiving. Now realizing, what it was, in fact, that they were thankful for. Universal Truth said the irony in original children buying Redline BMX bikes back in the 80s. Yeah, we might have reconsidered that if we might have reconsidered that if we knew that history. Who knows? D. Korean said every neighborhood I go to is people from another country, English speaking or not, they know how to deal in equality and recycle that dollar. Um, I mean, it's difficult to say because I've never been a different kind of people. But from the outside looking in, uh, 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 you know, we dislike each other the most. I mean, it's possible that it exists in other countries. I know, like, a lot of times you're looking at another country and you see them all as one people, but, they might all, be different factions from different tribes, different, regions within the country, whatever. They might not all get along. You know what I'm saying? But, uh, you know, uh, just the type of dislike that's been, kind of manufactured and the kind of dislike that thrives amongst us. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you never really uh, hear other people, right? Like if a white person gets angry with another white person. They having a heated discussion, and he wants to disrespect the other white person. You rarely hear him disrespect him with a word that means that he's white. You know what I'm saying? Like if you was old enough, you know what I'm saying? If you old enough right now, you recall the days when, putting black on an insult turned it from an insult into, fighting words. You know what I'm saying? Or just the way, we could use, nigga as a term of endearment, and we could also use it, as a form of kind of like dehumanization, depending on the situation. I don't see other people doing that, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? And it, I don't know if they do it as much as us. You know what I'm saying? And that just spills over into all aspects of life. You know what I'm saying? So, if we just see another black person doing something, we just think bad about it. You understand what I'm saying? Like matter of fact, with all the music and film, he's from Atlanta. That's one of the things, they say is unique about Atlanta is that, it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? If people see somebody, black doing something, they'll think, oh snap, let me check that out and see what it is. In other places, a black person see another black person doing something. Oh yeah, he up to something. It ain't no good. I don't know what the scam is, but he's scamming. And it's another factor I think in that circulation of the money is kind of the lack of control of our culture. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, in the Jewish community, uh, a lot of the reason that the money circulate there is because of their culture. Their religious laws is, you got to buy things that's kosher, and you can't even find those things, some of those things that they want outside the Jewish community. So they control it. See, we're, much quicker to allow, our culture to just become a part of somebody else's culture for a few dollars. So then that one person gets a few dollars and we celebrate, oh, this person is a billionaire. This person is a millionaire. You understand what I mean? But what they became a billionaire from is selling the element of our culture that now, we're not, it's not going to work in that way in terms of the money being able to be recycled. But I think that's one of the things that's at the root of it. You know what I'm saying? Because the before the money circulating in our community was was kind of based on segregation. The fact that you couldn't really go, you wasn't even allowed in the white community to be spending money over there. You understand what I'm saying? So, we was kind of forced to deal with each other. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, uh, other people, you know what I'm saying, there was some uniting cause. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even for the country as a whole, taxation without representation and, all these different things that was going on in their world at that time, right? That caused them to form America as they formed it. This is like a unifying thing. When they want to deal with patriotism, when they want people to go to war, they start telling that story in order to unify everybody together. See, we don't have a unifying story like that. You know what I'm saying? Amongst our community is more like, look, you got to get yours. So if that means, going in whatever profession and conforming to, whatever things, whether they, is a help to your community or not, that's what we more programmed to do than other people. You understand what I'm saying? Other communities, if you Asian and you over here, you know what I'm saying, away from home, that in and of itself is a rallying thing. That, we here, but we still want to have the experience, or at least some of the, these are the things I think that have to be developed. These is the underlying realities that gotta, the unity has to go deeper than just, we're gonna buy from each other. We gotta actually have that reason. See, because, if it's just, okay, yeah, we're gonna buy from each other, but we don't understand no underlying unity, then there's other things, well, I wanted to buy from you and everything, but the price is cheap over here. See, other people don't think like that. All of the businesses, economic power's threshold is set by political power. Can't have a political party without money, without having a political power, without having a political party. That's why Black Wall Street got burned and swept under the rug. No politician to speak for you, no United Nations country to stand up for you. Their economic cap was set by their political position. So I think if we got the money, the politicians will come to us willingly, but you can't negotiate from a disadvantaged standpoint. Listen, that's true. Those is the people, right, that the politicians go give a personal speech to. Because they need to make an appeal for that currency. So when they go and talk to, the different Black ministers, you notice they come in, they'll take a photo out with whoever's the top Black ministers. Because they know they got access to the voting blocks, right, of, the Black Christendom, and they got access to that money. But that's exactly what I'm saying. They go into them before it gets to the point that they come into them as, okay, I need you for the marketing. I need you for help marketing myself to your constituency, or the constituency that, you got influence over. You know what I'm saying? But in order, I mean, you know, the game just works a certain way. See, corporate America is where corporate America is right now because, Rockefeller and Carnegie and, Morgan and all of these cats, right? They decided to start manufacturing candidates. One of those candidates was Woodrow Wilson, who signed a lot of economic laws, right, that allowed them to explode in the money that they was making. So you get the what? Roaring 20s. Joseph said, are we looking for things that happen too fast? Um, um, in a way, but you gotta remember, we talking about something that's, 1,000 years in the making. You know, um, that's a characteristic of being fed up. When you fed up, you're looking for things that happened yesterday. You know what I'm saying? You know, and we live in a society like that too. You know what I'm saying? Where you press enter and you get the reward already. You know, that's an important idea right there. You know what I'm saying? Are we looking for things that happen too fast? You know, because see the danger in that, right, is that you don't see progress. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand that you're making progress. You know what I'm saying? We see this with people uh studying 120 lessons, you know what I mean, coming to an understanding, you look into uh get an understanding of things before you even have the knowledge and wisdom of those things. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, because you're looking to have the understanding, so quickly, you're not appreciating the knowledge and wisdom, which is where the understanding comes from. So taking it back to the political and economic level, it's like, you don't understand the baby steps. You see what I'm saying? Just like, for instance, when we hear about Black Wall Street, we hear about it at its peak. We don't hear about when it was, 10 or 15 ex-slaves over there, making a couple of rocking chairs. We hear about it at its peak. And so we don't appreciate the baby steps. And a lot of times we don't even know what the baby steps is. Like we look at it, we appreciate it, but do we actually know? Okay, how did they go from 10 or 15 ex-slaves over there making rocking chairs to Black Wall Street? And could we go through that right now? You know what I'm saying? You know, that's also related to a lot of times why, like I said, we'll have an element, of something that was produced from our culture, right? But are we willing to, deal with the baby steps that it takes to build that thing up into $1 billion industry? You know what I'm saying? Or would we just take a billion, right? We just take $1 billion from some other corporate entity, to have the $1 billion fast, we come up fast as opposed to, okay, we might have to, this industry might start out, we not even making enough to support ourselves. Then it might go to 50,000, then it might go to 100,000, then it might go to 200,000, then it might go, you know, would you recognize those baby steps for what they are? If you're looking to get to the best part too fast. All in the business says all technology goes through military testing first. No new technology in this country is released unless it has military use. Example, cell phones, GPS, internet, and driverless vehicles used in the military first. Universal Truth said I've heard 10 years of military use before the public gets it. Oh, let me catch up. All right. So Self said, oh yeah, one wild shooter, in a situation is saying, what can happen uh, in a Black Wall Street situation, how they might try to destroy it, in this day and time, where it's cameras watching everything, you know what I mean? You can't exactly do what they did in Black Wall Street with Don Lemon out there. But Joe Self said, yeah, one wild shooter would do heavy damage, but we can't let these things stop us from building. I think it is us to keep building. Oh, guaranteed. But I'm just saying, you have to be aware that the devil is a bad devil, and he ain't gonna stop. You know, uh, this is life and death. You know, the way it goes right now, this is life and death. Like if they somehow lost their grip, right, on the oppression, of societies around the world. Like when they say American interests in other countries, that's what they're saying, that our way of life is not possible without these services and resources that we get from the different societies that we oppress. So this is life and death for them. You don't want them to get gangster, you know, do this in broad daylight with their face, man. camera and all. All right, Manolo Music and Film. You just hit the cash app. Good looking. Appreciate that, bro. There. Who's Ryan Givens? Shout out to Ryan Givens. Another. That's not true, is it? And I didn't see your. Gotta make sure you type the right thing. Or are you Ryan Givens? Universal Truth said, is it naive to accept systematic obstacles that prevent us from raising lawyers, doctors, and other professionals and collectively find ways to circumvent, to break through whenever possible? I mean, that's not naive. That's the science of teaching. You know, there's obstacles that need to be conquered. You know, in this particular society, you know, we got obstacles like you know, racism and things of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? You know, the key is to, you know, instill in those lawyers, doctors, and other professionals, right? To instill in them that kind of, you know, love for the community that they come from. You know what I'm saying? The kind of idea in them that, you know, the community has served them by producing them, right? And, you know, raising them to be professionals and things, you know, like you're just saying, right? And that now they have a duty to, you know, raise the community. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's what we learned in school when they teach us patriotism. When they teach us, you know, how George Washington, you know, struggled and, you know, Valley Forge and all these things that happened, uh, all these things that happened so that, you know, we could live in America. You know, when they teach us about, you know, Pearl Harbor and, you know, all these times, you know, when people had to go and fight for our freedoms and, you know, the war 1812 and they try to take away our freedoms and all these things. You understand what I mean? That's what they teaching us. That's exactly what you described it. See, the obstacle for the government is, you know, how do we break down these family loyalties and make them loyal to us? How do we break down these religious loyalties and make them loyal to us? You know, how do we raise the type of people that we need to, you know, make the inventions, you know, the light bulb, the car, to, you know, produce the industrial revolution, the technological revolution, the digital revolution. How do they produce all those people? How they do all that is with school. And they ask for that service back, in the military, through taxes, whatever it may be. That's you know, the stuff you're saying is at the rudimentary level of nation building. See, Universal Truth, they got 793rd. We got 793rd on the BMX. Him and 793rd and Universal Truth is about to hit the X Games. So 793rd said, how about when the Jewish still rock the black, they were made to, in terms of flipping the N-word to an endearment term somewhat. Yeah, it's very similar. But that's not the only time that's happening. You know what I'm saying? Uh, you know, uh, you gotta remember that that's kind of a unifying factor. You know what I'm saying? Like the Holocaust is a unifying factor in the Jewish world. You understand what I'm saying? So any group of people that look, we all went through a certain trials and tribulations, and survived it, you know, now, kind of the symbols of that hell that we all went through and survived, you know what I'm saying, actually becomes something that, we identify with now. Kareem said no professionalism. Why don't you like professionalism, Kareem? What's going on with my Universal Truth said original people from other countries have language on their side, keeps them unified here in the USA, plus the customs from their country. Original people in the USA have the same language as the system. Joseph said, I always thought the church got paid for the politician. They do. And this is why it's a system. This is why, we use words like recycle the money. The economy, all of it is a system. You understand what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. The money increases the money. The money increases the politics. The politics increases the money. The politics increases the politics. It all goes hand in hand. When a politician comes into politics, they usually got a mentor in there that's been in there from before they was in there. And this other politician, as they grooming them to certain things, they introducing them to donors who could give them the money that it takes to advance their, so you could go from city council to mayor to governor to running for president. You're gonna find uh the currents flowing in all directions when it comes to that. You understand what I'm saying? The politician gets political power from the church, right? But then when the church can, they can do certain things in the community, you know, the church is not, they wasn't redlined as much as everybody else. See, so in a lot of these communities like Harlem, they came off with gentrification because they owned a lot of that property. See, when they want to protest something and that thing gets attention, so the church has political party because they got certain politicians, right? That that politician is giving a political party. They gave that politician political power also, right? By introducing the whatever is the community, but let's say, if it's black people, by introducing the congregation to this individual, right? And saying that this individual is gonna, he's gonna serve us like Jesus. That's how they say in politics. Both hands wash the other. Uh, Atif came in and mentioned Jekyll Island. You know, Jekyll Island is there's a book. Oh yeah, this is it right here. That Universal put the creature from Jekyll Island, where it speaks on how the different corporate interests came together, right? Dealing with what we're talking about right now, how they came together and how they was going to control the economic system. You understand what I'm saying? Through political legislation. You understand what I'm saying? So, namely, the Federal Reserve Act, uh, you know, it's an economic thing, but they realized they had to push it through the political arena. So, the creature from Jekyll Island, that's a book about that. You know what I'm saying? About how the corporate interests at that time came together to take control over the economy, but also at the same time the government. Universal Truth said about baby steps. There's a saying: it takes pressure to make a diamond. Just don't forget how long the process takes. Well, as you said, little steps lead to big rewards. So Joseph said, right? I'm fed up too, but you don't go from knowledge straight to power. There's degrees to everything. Yeah, but that's what leads to drastic measures. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, that's what leads to uh, people not seeing, progress. You know what I'm saying? The system that, we have, the whole how many ships went with Christopher Columbus? You know, it was a couple of ships. Like, I remember it was the Pinto and the Nina, but I think it was wasn't it some other ships? But think about that. From those couple of ships, right? You got the whole South America, Mexico. You understand what I'm saying? But it didn't start like that. It didn't start like that. Uh, you know, brother right here said 5 ships. You understand what I'm saying? So from 5 ships, they created the whole Fly Phrase said it was 3 ships. Joseph said 3, they say, but it was really 5. The Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. You understand what I mean? But, whatever the case may be, my point is still the same. That from just that, we got the whole Spanish speaking world in this hemisphere. But it didn't start out like that. See, just like I said with the pyramids, we mostly just see the Great Pyramid, the pyramids on Giza, when the science was perfected. But there's other, remnants of pyramids that show that the science wasn't always perfected. They had to take steps in order to get there. Universal Truth said, we're patient, though the devil saves time by stealing. Hard to compete with that when trying to grow business and political change, honestly. Um, you know, uh, you know, see, this, this is from the streets. But, with these things, at this point, don't hate the player, man. Hate the game. You know, uh, uh, but the game is the game. You know what I'm saying? You know, just going back to the title. Being Lord of all worlds. You know, this system. You know what I'm saying? And the interactions that we have in the system. With the different people, the different elements of the system. That's the game. These is the things that we got to overcome in order to deal with freedom, justice, and equality. You know what I'm saying? Uh, and that's another thing that I think too we got to realize too, right? Is that we got to stop trying to compete with the devil. I wasn't there, but this is one of the things that allows you to take baby steps. When you're not competing with somebody that's been doing this for 1,000 years with multiple many advantages. Sometimes, just being at 5%, you hear people say, yo, other nations got this, other nations is doing that. That's them. You understand what I'm saying? We're not competing with them. Anything that we should be doing, that's because of who we say we are. It ain't got nothing to do with what somebody else is doing. We competing, today you competing with your situation yesterday. That's all you competing with. Same sports. You out there, you playing, you know, nah, you competing with your situation yesterday. And if keeping that type of focus, you see what I'm saying? Then you could take baby steps. You got Phantasm Now is Born came in. But that's one of the things, I think that happens, that causes a kind of dissatisfaction. You know, even like, talking about recycling the dollar. You know, the white man ice is colder. You know, you end up with a grass is greener uh, type of mentality. But at the end of the day, we competing with our situation yesterday. You know what I'm saying? That's our culture, the babies being the greatest, and now, you know, they can compete with the entire situation from yesterday. See, because just see, first of all, something about that, when you're dealing with that, right? Competing, especially, when you're dealing with the original man, the colored man, and the things that we've been able to accomplish, right? A lot of things is based on uh, kind of who you are too. Meaning, for instance, right? Let's say we was wrong. Right? Let's say I'm wrong, and somebody that passed away, and an original man that passed away, let's say in 1845. Right? He passed away in 1845. Do you think he would see the way we living right now as progress? See, like, we fed up. But how do you think a brother, if he just touched down right now, and the last thing that he saw in America was in 1845, South Carolina, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, North Carolina, imagine, Tennessee, he was one of them states like that in 1845. He would think, man, y'all blood just we overcame, man. I thought those niggas that was talking about freedom, I thought they was crazy. And see, that happens from generation to generation. Even like, look, for me, even in this time right now, there's people that I had to tell that, listen, the impact that the George Floyd rebellions, the Breonna Taylor rebellions, Ahmaud Arbery, all these different uh, uh, brothers and sisters that the rebellion, that was catalyst for the rebellions that occurred, you know, to if a lot of younger people, they like, yo, man, we you know, they don't see uh the progress as much as me. To me, to have, all as many police get arrested within a short period of time after something happened, to me, that's we live in a whole other world. Not quite somebody who the last thing they saw was 1845. But to somebody that's just seeing many cops not get charged, many cops not lose their job, many cops get acquitted. To me, I see progress that brothers was able to make. And we talking about immediately they got laws passed. Things that happened, brothers protesting from 1955, 1950. They started protesting as soon as World War II was over. Even World War One in some cases, some things have been being protested about the condition of the original people. Civil Rights Act and all that stuff ain't coming to the 60s. And then even with that, the school, when they voted to integrate the schools, right? The schools didn't have to comply with that until the 70s. That's why busing came around in the 70s, because they was just now complying with the laws that was passed about desegregating schools in 1955. But now they put that thing on the table like that. So my defund the police, NYPD lost $1 million like that. No, well, $1 billion. $1 billion. They took $1 billion off the budget like that. That don't mean we overcame. You see, like I said, some video, the Law School of Mecca channel. You know what I'm saying? For me, there's a difference between dissatisfied and unsatisfied. I'm not sure unsatisfied is a word, but dissatisfied and not satisfied. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm not satisfied, meaning I know there's more that needs to be done. I'm not saying that we overcame and this is the promised land. I'm not saying that we now have freedom, justice, and equality for all people on the planet. But I'm not dissatisfied to say that I don't see nothing happening. I'm totally unhappy with what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? The example I gave before to illustrate my point about how I see dissatisfied and unsatisfied, right, is if you give me some food, right? Now, the food may taste very good, but you only give me a little bit. You only gave me one piece of chicken. Now, the food can be great. The food can be excellent. It can be some of the best chicken I've had. But because you only gave me one piece, I'm not satisfied. I want some more. Now contrast that with, look, you can give me a whole plate. You give me all the chicken I want. But it's nasty. I want that. I'm dissatisfied now with what you gave me. I'm dissatisfied with that. Joseph said we are infinite. Sometimes we get caught up in the devil's sense of urgency. I mean, he got a set time. That's another thing. You just hit something on the head, like bingo right there. You see, and like I said, there's another thing you gotta realize. It's life and death for him. It's life and death for us too, but we just ain't seeing it. You know, we see it in front of our face, but we don't know. You know, when I say we, I'm talking about all of us as a whole. You know, we don't know what's causing this to happen. Meaning, we see the statistics coming out of Chicago. We see the statistics coming out of New York recently. We seen the statistics from the coronavirus. We see all kinds of statistics, right? That shows and proves that the situation and condition we living in is life and death. See, that's what we really got to deal with. See, even if you know, no matter what you're doing, you know, in fact, the more individual a sport is, right, the more your most important opponent is yourself. Like, see, in boxing, the most important opponent you got to beat is yourself. From the time you got to do the training. You got to compete to make your own self better just within yourself. You got to compete with all the things that's telling you in your mind that, nah, look, just go, enjoy yourself, man. Just go have a milkshake. It's the same with this science, man. The most important devil you got to take off the planet is yourself. Because see, if you got 7.5 of one thing, you got 6 of the other thing. 6 can't compete with 7.5. It's not a competition. That's why 6 has to keep you from becoming 7.5. That's why they were made blind, deaf, and dumb by the devil when they were babies. So the real thing is you reaching your full potential. And then any other devil that comes, it's no competition. Universal Truth said, I see what you mean. Competing with my yesterday. The devil is not a maker, God is. God can make a new way while the devil has to wait for an opportunity to use his devilishment to take what isn't his. Yeah, Joseph said if somebody came here from 1845, right now, you'd be like, man, y'all do, you listen, you remember, does anybody recall one of the first episodes of the Jeffersons. Does anybody recall? I'm pretty sure it was the first episode that Florence came on. I know Joe Self in 793rd is going to remember this. But in one of the first episodes of the Jeffersons, Florence came in and she was standing there talking to the Jeffersons and the people from upstairs. What was their name? The Willises. The Willises came downstairs, and remember the wife was black. You know what I'm saying? And Florence, because this was when Jeffersons, they moved on up, so they living in this expensive apartment and everything. You know what I'm saying? So Florence comes in and she asks the Jefferson, she said, "Wait, y'all live in this building?" He said, "Yeah." And she looked at the black lady for the other couple and said, "Does she live in this building too?" He said, "Yeah." And then Florence said, "Well, how come we overcame and nobody told me?" I would imagine that the brother would have, probably multiple times that type of reaction to the way we live in now. Like, yo, you just passed that white man looking dead in the face. You just looked that white man in the face. That's what you got to look at. That's why you got to know history. That's why you got to know history. That's what's important about knowing the history and knowing where you came from, so you can even see where you at. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things you do that with. You got to back out and see the bigger picture, because you right here dealing with the details. You're dealing with the details. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it could be anything you're doing. You might be doing yard work or something, and you just doing what you're doing. And eventually you look, you're like, all right, yeah, I'm almost done. Yeah, chart is that way too. You got to zoom out and look at the big picture so you can see, you know, uh, what you've done. What progress has been made. But we had another good live. We had the return of Joseph. We had the return of Joseph. Actually, we had the return of quite a few people. What's the other brother's name? Dominic Castro. So it's been a while since we've seen him. Um, but yeah, anybody got any questions? We get a little freestyle a little bit. Anybody got any questions? You know what I mean? On the topic, Lord of all worlds, from highest to lowest, or any other questions, other than that, everybody that made it this far in the stream through the Each One Teach One, hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. In order, we got the mathematician. Oh, you are the supreme. What did I miss crew today? My email is if you that's my email right there that I just put in the comments. 5 phrase from the Providence Plantations. But yeah, to stay in tune with when the lives is coming. Hit the notification button. Sometimes YouTube decides to send my notifications out. Sometimes they don't. I don't really know what the phenomenon is. We got some new things coming up too. Coming up shortly. I guess the guys has got a new network or something. It's a couple of new networks. So I don't know. I've been I got contacted a few times about being a part of the content, being one of the content makers for some different networks that's being established by the guys. You know what I'm saying? So that might be something that we doing. Right now this is my format. The live format. So I guess maybe that's what we'll be doing. We'll probably be doing some live, some live streams. We'll probably, right now that's how I'm seeing it. We'll be doing live, the live studio audience. But that's one thing in the pipeline right now. But 5 phrase from the Providence Plantations. Hopefully you got that email already. Now, as Born said, he never gets the notifications. Yeah, I don't know what the phenomenon is. You know what I mean? I know when people, that's how we've been doing it recently is with just the click and likes. You know what I'm saying? And, I like coming on at different times. You know what I'm saying? But it seems like 7 o'clock is the time that we get the most participation. But I really don't know what the phenomenon is. I actually got some books on it. I got some books on Google and this digital marketing stuff. But it is what it is. You know, sometimes I think they say you gotta click the bell like more than once. Somehow it'll get unclicked. Who knows? But everybody's good. Nobody got any questions. Once again, I guess I've been crystal clear, and I've been crystal clear in all the knowledge and wisdom that I came to manifest. So clear, in fact, that no explanation is necessary. So with that, tomorrow I got to be on at 6 o'clock. Plus, really, at that time, I guess I'm gonna be getting my workout in a little bit late tomorrow because I should be rising in a few minutes. I should be rising in a few minutes actually to handle my workout, but doesn't look like that's going to happen right now. The 6 degree and the 110. Is it what or how? Where would you put the how? Yeah. I mean, did I say how? Where would you put the what? The how I meant. Where would you put the what? I'm saying. That's my fault. Yeah, I gotta get up on the bar. Right now, I gotta do. I'm doing I gotta work on some and get my push up game when I need it. But I was thinking about that. I might start doing a workout show. You know what I'm saying? What is the exact area? Yeah, but that's not the equality degree. Bob Frey said he got to get a pull-up bar. He was struggling to do 15. It's been so long. I mean, some people never get to 15. Yeah, I know people that. Listen, I know people ain't never got to 5. But right now, what I'm doing is I'm moving over now to some of my weaker. I'm moving over to some of my weaker variations. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, 15 pull-ups is that's pretty up there. That's I don't know too many people that's not gladiators that could do 15. In fact, I don't think I know anybody that's not a gladiator that could do 15. But yeah, I think I'm gonna do a workout, you know, a kind of live where, but I don't know how the format will work out. But yeah, right now I'm doing my different variations uh, to get all of them up to speed where to get all of them up to speed where they all I can do. And right now, some variations I might do. I might only get like 8 to 10 of them. Be well rounded, hit all the angles. So the bartenders, I knew a couple of the brothers that they was the founders of that, and they called me and they was like, "Yeah, we're about to do a video, where we're gonna be, doing pull-ups. It'll be this video." And at the time, it was sounds like video with no pull-ups. You know what I'm saying? Guys, I'm going to do what I'm doing. And yeah, shortly after that, the bartenders thing blew up, and then it became a whole culture. But yeah, I was I was around some of the brothers that was they was in the first they was in the first the brothers who kind of set that off. Um, I don't know what those are called, phrase. I just where did I get those from? I think I might have got those from the guy. I get those from Divine Justice. Where did I get that from? And it's been so long, I don't even recall where I got that from. But that was back when whoever I got that from, that was like when we used to play a horse that we used to play with different workouts. Where somebody get on the bar and do something, you know, or even on the floor or whatever. And uh, you had to try it out, see if you could do it. But yeah, all of those type of things like that, the typewriter pull-ups, you know what I'm saying? I'm about to get into the fancy ones. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's it. And I said I might do that where it's like we do the videos so y'all can see the progression until I get back into all of what I got to do. But yeah, other than that, yeah, like I said, see y'all on the bar tomorrow. You know, try to get that in the afternoon. Hopefully, what's the weather like tomorrow? I don't know why I keep looking at the weather report like they know. All right, well, the weather report says it shouldn't be too hot. So when it's too hot, I can't. When it's too hot, I don't want to eat. So when I don't eat, I don't like to work out. But weather looks decent tomorrow, so I'm gonna get that in. And y'all know, of course, civilization class is at 6 o'clock. So I'll see you there. In the meantime, peace.